I mean, if you two members of the
Can't say that anymore.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the disability meeting for November 2017. Please make your introductions for the record.
Stephanie Zimberg, designee for Police Commissioner O'Neill.
Samantha Gaven, counsel, NYPD, present by invitation.
John Dawson, designee for Control, Scott Stringer.
Cynthia Collins, designee for Mayor Bill de Blasio.
Phil Dukes, designee for Finance Commissioner Jock Sheehan.
Amy Cassidy, Law Department, present by invitation.
Marta Ross, Law Department, present by invitation.
Joe Alejandro, designee for Patrick Lynch. John Puglisi, Mubarak Abdul-Jabbar. Chris McGrath, PBA by invitation.
Merritt Riley from the PBA.
Mark Reno, PBA by invitation.
Brad Shaw, PBA by invitation.
Gary DeRosa, designee for Ed Mullins, SBA.
Nick Safiuti, SBA, LBA, CEA by invitation.
Lou Turco, LBA.
Roy Richter, CEA. Kenny Sparks, DEA, designee for Mike Palladino.
Karen Paxtis, DEA by invitation.
Artie Williams, DEA by invitation.
Sherry Chansey, actuary present by invitation.
Eli Kleiman, Chief Sergeant by invitation.
Bob Sansky, State Pension Fund, present by invitation. Kevin Holleran, Pension Fund, by invitation.
Anthony Antonellis, Medical Division by invitation.
Jamie Donnelly, Medical Division by invitation.
Diane Carr, Police Pension Fund.
Charles Mastretta, Police Pension Fund by invitation.
Nicole Chambrisi, Police Pension Fund, present by invitation.
Okay, easy. Cynthia Diaz, Police Pension Fund, present by invitation.
Keith Snow, Office of the Actuary by invitation. John Flynn, Police Pension Fund, present by invitation.
Mike DeWoods, Police Pension Fund, present by invitation.
Mary Young, Pension Fund. Ron Soroka, Police Pension Fund, present by invitation.
Angela Tripp, Police Pension Fund by invitation.
Lisa Garcia, Pension Fund, present by invitation.
Okay. Page 1 from the next meeting date, Wednesday, December 13, 2017. Pages 2 through 12.
2 through 64, Joe.
Oh,
Nothing of a controversial nature, so moved.
thank you, Kenny.
You're welcome.
2 through 64, so move. Page 65 through 67, a request for re-examination under the safeguards provision of Administrative Code 13-254 for retired police officer Yan Kusherigan.
Okay. A self-explanatory letter requesting re-examination. You forwarded to the medical board.
Okay. It's forwarded. Next, a discussion regarding Tier 3 members' obligation for shortage contributions. I would assume this is on the 1% that all Tier 3 members who opted in. Can you explain that mechanism again? It's not with the police pension fund.
Right now, while I have John in the room, John, can you just explain what's happening with the...
Sure. For the Tier 3 members that opted in for the enhanced benefit, we have started our testing with NYPD and payroll to effectuate the deduction out of their payrolls as part of their required contribution into the fund. The second task after that's completed would be to calculate the back contributions that the members were required to make since the launching. So that goes back to April 1st, April 10th. So one step at a time. First, we're trying to get the deductions, and second would be to get the back contributions.
Yeah. So given that, if going back to April 10th, once the final number that each member needs to contribute is determined, then a portion per check basis will be done not in one shot. Right. And it'll go over a period of, let's say, 26 weeks. Is that correct? Along with the current amount.
Typically for contributions that get recouped through arrears, right, minimum contributions, which I think is set at 2% of their take-home pay. So. Or 2% of their salary. So I would imagine that this would be set up similarly based on the infrastructure we have in place.
Because it's just the concern is that the longer it goes, the more the member will wind up contributing per check. You think that's been the concern on from the members?
I think the minimum contribution that we have set up for all arrears, regardless of type, would be 2%. So.
All right. Okay.
Can they transfer that from deferred comp?
No.
No.
What was that?
Can that be transferred from deferred comp?
No, it's not a buyback, so it can't be done through deferred.
You can only transfer permissive contributions, not required contributions from the 401k or the 401k.
All right, so if we have any further questions, we'll.
But Joe, this is not the initial discussion that you.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I thought that was the, which is, this is the one that the law department had done a memo on.
Right.
Okay. Okay. We'll so move that. That was the issue. Yeah, we had tabled it
Right.
for further discussion with the law department. So we'd like to so move it off.
Okay.
All right. Next is the resolution regarding fiscal year 2018 budget.
I'd like to table that.
Mayor's office would like to table that.
Is that something to be tabled for a phone vote in the near future potentially?
Yes,
And we'd be contacted, I guess,
via email.
By phone.
By phone, email. Yeah, Kevin will coordinate that.
You are a sharp piece of work.
so it's
All right.
not tabled for next meeting, but it's tabled,
To allow that to occur.
Please.
All right, page 68 through 76, resolution, initial estimate payment of transport earnings to the police officers and police superior officers variable supplement fund for fiscal year 2017. The PBA would like to table that till next month.
Is there a way that the first attachment that goes from the PPF to the police officers variable supplement fund and the police officers superior officers variable supplement fund can be split so that the resolutions instead of being 3 would be 4?
I'll defer to the attorneys on that question.
Marta, do you want to answer that or do you want me to?
Well, my understanding is that it cannot be split under the statute, but Nicole, if you want to chime in on the relevant statute, in terms of how the PPF has looked at this before.
So I think logistically, the issue is that it's a preliminary calculation, not a final calculation. So if the number were to change, it could get a little messy in the future because too much or too little may have been transferred into one of the variable supplements funds, and then we might have to recoup. I think if it was a final number, it might be a little different. The law does require the board to calculate the cumulative earnings to determine how much gets skimmed. It would be the lesser of the cumulative earnings factor or the accrued unfunded liability. So that determination has to happen at the board. Once the board determines that amount, they don't actually approve the transfer of the money. They're only approving the calculation. The transfer of the money happens automatically as a matter of law as prescribed by the statutes.
So the $1.2 billion that was going to go into the police superior officers variable supplement fund, would that transfer would take place regardless of the approval of the resolution?
No. So the board has to calculate the amount. You can't make a transfer until you know what the amount is. So once the board calculates the amount to be transferred, the fund with the comptroller's office mechanically automatically does that transfer. So Sherry's office calculates the amount, the board approves the amount, we do the transfer.
So that amount is, because Nicole just said that there is an amount that shall be transferred if the BSF doesn't have enough funds. It might not necessarily be, that exact amount, but it's an amount that's necessary to pay the benefits.
So I'm talking about the requirement in New York City Administrative Code 13-232.1. That's the transfer of the skim. What Sherry is referring to is if there is not enough money in the 2 variable supplements funds to cover the payout of the benefits. That's codified in a separate law.
So the $1.2 billion that was to be set from the pension fund to the police superior officers variable supplement fund, would that occur on the approval of the resolution, or does that occur at some point in the future?
That would occur. It's my understanding that occurs upon the approval of the resolution.
So to the extent that the resolution is tabled for a month, that $1.2 billion would not accrue any interest or earnings in the police superior officer's variable supplement fund.
No, that money would stay in the QPP.
And any earnings or interest on it would stay with the QPP, the police pension fund, the big fund.
I would imagine that any interest earned in the investment account would remain in the investment account because the only thing that would be transferred would be the actual skim that was calculated and approved by the board.
And to the extent that money is earned in the QPP, that money potentially would also be potentially skimmed over, God knows, into the future in the event that there is future skims going out. In other words, it's all intermingled, right? It's all part of the fund.
So it wouldn't happen in the
It wouldn't happen now.
Resolution at bar. It could potentially occur next year or the year thereafter.
The money's not flying away. It's
It would
staying in
remain
the
in the
account
purpose of the QPP.
for the purpose of beneficiaries in the future. So it stays as part of a fund. It's not like it was a separate fund somewhere else in someone else's account. It's going towards members in the future.
Correct. The
Correct.
money is in the QPP already because during the employer contributions, the regular valuation employer contributions, I do incorporate the VSF payments in there.
In other words,
Because
it's
already
not
paid in
money,
the
if it's
QPP.
earned in the QPP or whether it's going to the variable supplement fund, it's going to the beneficiaries of the police pension fund. And of course, any member who's a member of the police pension fund, other than those that go out on a disability retirement, they're going to potentially get that money in the future, whether it's this generation or the next generation. It's money earned for the beneficiaries of the fund.
And the money is already in the QPP.
Exactly.
The only difference between what you're saying, Roy, and what you're saying, Joe, is what column do you report
Right,
the
exactly.
investment income on?
But it's to the beneficiaries.
So to the extent that the skim and the earnings exceed the fixed rate of interest, then there might be a skim. But to the extent that there's money that just maintains the fixed rate of interest that's in the variable supplement fund, that money would stay, those earnings would stay in the variable supplement fund. But by not adopting the resolution today, basically the police superior officer's variable supplement fund would lose any ability to get that money. It's waived and it goes back to the city of New York. So by tabling this resolution, the superior officers do not get the interest on that money to accrue in their fund because it wouldn't be transferred over to that fund. But hypothetically, if the equities return in the big fund exceed the fixed rate income, and there's a calculation years from now on that skim, we would get that money of the skim, but only that money that exceeds the fixed rate. But to the extent that it doesn't, and it only maintains that same fixed rate income, the police superior officer's variable supplement fund would lose out on that interest for a month because the money is not being transferred into the big fund.
But it doesn't get dwindled down, it goes to the members anyway because it's going through the police pension fund.
What's going to the police pension?
All interest earned on it. It's going to the beneficiary, not to the city. It goes to the members that are members of that fund.
So the money that goes into the police superior officer's variable supplement fund, I understand, goes to people that retire on service retirement that are police superior officers.
Right.
And to the extent that it stays in the big police pension fund, that would just reduce the city's obligation in the future insofar as funding. So that's the reason why I was looking for the initial resolution to be split, so that the police officers' variable supplement fund can resolve whatever issues that they need resolved. But insofar as a vote that I would have for the superior officer's variable supplement fund, I have no issues. I just want the money.
PBA would like to table it, so. All right, next pages 77 through, page 77, the annual meeting, police officers variable supplement fund.
We gotta
You
go
have
out.
to exit this meeting and
then-
go.
So I make a motion to leave the public session of police pension fund and go into the executive session of the police officers variable supplement fund.
So moved.
Okay.
I'll second. So are we going into the executive or are we going into the public of the?
It's gotta be, is it executive of the police officers or public?
Public.
Public.
PSF, yeah, POVSF.
I can talk a lot too.
All right, we're in the moment that everyone's been waiting for here.
Looking forward.
Right, the annual meeting of the Police Officers Variable Supplement Fund. We have the election of officers. For the sake of brevity, we will
have the nominees read off, each position. Chairman, President of PBA, Police Officer Patrick Lynch. Secretary, Controller's Rep, Ms. Susanna Vickers. Board Member, First Vice President PBA, John Puglisi. Board Member, Second Vice President PBA, Mubarak Abdul-Jabbar. Board Member, Chairman, Board of Trustees, PBA, Merritt Riley. Board Member, Mayor's Rep, Cynthia Collins. And Board Member, Finance Department Representative, Philip Dukes. Do I hear any other nominations for any of the aforementioned positions? Hearing none, let the record show that one ballot was cast for each of the positions, chairman, secretary, and the 5 board members. Congratulations, ladies.
On behalf of Susanna, thank you.
Such excitement.
And for those who won yesterday, congratulations also for the next.
I think the city won
years.
yesterday.
The city.
The city is that.
All right, there's no, okay. And
So I make a motion to leave the public.
Hold on, so we have the resolution. Oh,
There's no resolution.
To the extent that that was tabled to the prior resolution, attached to prior, that's tabled also.
all right, and now, a motion to exit?
Motion to leave the public session of Police Officers Variable Supplement Fund and go back to the public session of, I have to go back to Police
You
Pension.
go right into
Right into the
PSO.
PSO.
Somebody on the PSO needs to.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Mr. Dorso with a second. Thank you, Mr. Dorso. There you go. All right, and now, to enter the public session for the annual meeting of the Police Superior Officers Variable Supplement Fund. Do I have, Harry?
SBA?
Second. Thank you. All righty. Election of board members. Police Superior Officers, the election of officers. The incumbents are Chairman, President of the LBA, Lou Turco. Secretary, Controller's Rep, Ms. Susanna Vickers. Board Member, President of CEA, Roy Richter. Board Member, President SBA, Edward Mullins. Board Member, President of the DEA, Michael Palladino. Board Member, Mayor's Rep, Cynthia Collins. And last but not least, Board Member, Finance Department Rep, Phil Dukes. Do I hear any other nominations? Hearing none, let the record show that one ballot was cast for each of the positions, chairman, secretary, and the 5 board members. Congratulations.
On behalf of Susanna, thank you.
Once again. There we go. All right. And then the resolution that will be tabled.
We vote to accept the resolution.
So by statute, you can't.
Second.
Can't do it. But by statute, we cannot have a vote. And, but I understand.
He
Because
took a
my
shot.
PSF is hanging in Charlotte's here.
Point noted, there you go. He took a shot.
So can I make a motion that everybody turn off their cell phone?
Hold on. It's Susanna. She wants to know why she's not here.
Why aren't you at the after party? That's what she's trying to say.
Can I make a motion that we exit the Police Superior's Variable Supplement Fund and enter into the executive session? I'm sorry, can we just go back to the public so I can distribute?
No, go right into executive.
I'd like to distribute, okay. Oh, okay. So I'll make a motion to enter the executive session of the
Second.
Police Pension.
Okay.